This that top down joint. Lead Nation Entertainment, Freedom of Speech mixtape. Let's go. Top down, nice days up in the streets. My baby's got it. Okay, this that top down joint. Lead Nation Entertainment, Freedom of Speech mixtape. Let's go. Top down, nice days up in the streets. My baby's got it, just the way it's got it. So I hustle with my top down and my roof fall. This is all that this is a rolling. With my top down and my roof fall. This is all that this is a rolling. If I request freedom on my speech, 10 different hustles play it right, and you'll be out of reach. All press, I confess my grind rose a the week. 12 great fits, new J's, damn near every week. Now switch to cussing my switch with the newest sneaks. Top floor, getting top floor by the truest street. No religion, money, getting trying to dodge a fucking system. Hard to believe my niggas came from college picking. But I love my niggas, I mean all of y'all. Even the ones that's out there praying for my downfall. You niggas if I pass by, keep me on my toes. Delete my road, you just toasting with all of my bros. Niggas try to come to the store for candy, shit is closed. I ain't no way in my feet, nigga, here we go. Spaceship flow, how I think you a flame, nigga. Y'all some sad movie rappers, no game, niggas. Top down, nice days up in the streets. My baby's got it, just the way it's got it. So I hustle with my top down and my roof fall. This is all that bitches are rolling. With my top down and my roof fall. This is all that bitches are rolling. I feel a living life just like a savage. Long dreads, jewelry, but I'm nothing like your average. I'm strictly about the cabbage, trying to live lavish. Rock the latest fashions and Benz S classes. Clips with thick ashes, chicks with fat asses. No point to run the race when I know you won't pass this. I'm like a young Cassius, I won't take a look. I got bitches who will set you up and stay with your book. See it safe like a vault if you fuck with my crew. Cause we all got license to carry them too. And the niggas that we good with, y'all scared of them too. And the hoes that you're losing, we share with the group. I'm daring you to bring it near if you want. Stories of it getting hit over some beers in the but you the type to get pussy and disappear in the cut. I'm the type to get focused on getting grands every month. Top down, nice days up in the streets. My baby's got it, just the way it's got it. So I hustle with my top down and my roof fall. This is all that bitches are rolling. With my top down and my roof fall. This is all that bitches are rolling. Bring on the ass, this peanut butter seller. Stack of bundles in the cellar from 100 to a million. Fucker, I own the structure, you a tenant in the building. Lord of the land, valley of the beach, riding sword in my hand. I should not fear evil, I will leave you where you stand. Blueprint in my paper, got billions in the plans. Pillars of marble floors, cathedral cellars in the plans. That bitch glass and open up, no need for ceiling fans. Getting my bucks up, trucked up in that Cayenne. Life is but a dream, a motion picture, just minus the frames and the screams. Lost inside of the party life, never mind in the harder times. Erasing out that part of life like it's never before the life. The pain that I seen in my rear view, I got a clear view, I'm nowhere near you. That's why I ride through the city, yeah, I ride through the city with my top down and my roof fall. It's all from that bitches are balling. Top down and my roof fall. It's all from that bitches are balling. GMG is so musical.
Yeah. What up? You already know it's the man about town, Virgil Berry, aka Stats with the Facts. And I thank everybody for coming out to tap into this episode of A Real Talk Podcast. You know what I'm saying? First thing first, like y'all see on the screen, please wipe your feet when you come in. Smash that like button. You know what I'm talking about? Do a triple back tuck on that like button. You know, click on the alert bell, subscribe to the page as well. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm doing well myself. I could be better, but I could be worse. You know what I mean? So with that being said, it's a beautiful day. Gotta say so myself. Now, this is a story that happened a few days ago, but you know, I wanted to wait to talk about it because I wanted to wait till some more information come out. You know, when these stories first come out, like the day of, you know what I'm saying, all information that could possibly be available is definitely not available. So, you know what I mean? I like to wait a couple days to see what other information come out. And definitely more information came out with this case. You know what I'm saying? Stories like this, man, you know what I mean? I know it creates a certain type of feeling, type of energy and essence to it that is definitely demon time connected for sure. But, you know, I feel like we gotta, I think it's something, I think that it's something that we definitely need to have a discussion about, shine some light on, you know what I'm saying? And as far as a solution from it, the more information we have about the various things that contribute to stuff like this happening, right? And being able to connect the dots on how it's all connected and on all levels, then that's how I think we can really be more vigilant as far as how we raise our children, how we make them aware of what's going on, and being aware ourselves as well. Now, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and play this little clip from the news. I'm gonna just play the audio though. I ain't gonna play the you understand me? I ain't gonna play the video. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying fair use on this too. Fair use, fair use. You know what I'm saying?
Columbus police have arrested a 27-year-old man accused of raping and impregnating a 10-year-old girl. That girl's story has made it internationally. The headlines in the wake of the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade have been out there, allowing Ohio's heartbeat bill to go into effect. And we thank you for joining us. First at 4, I'm Brad Johansson.
I'm Jennifer Bullock. That 10-year-old traveled to Indiana to terminate her pregnancy. NBC4's Alan Henry has been digging into this case. And Alan, what do we know about it so far?
Well, Jim, Brad, because this case involves a child victim, a lot of
Detroit 313 was good.
Were still unknown to protect the identity, privacy, and safety of that child. Here's what we do know. 27-year-old GERSON Fuentes appeared in court this morning facing a charge of rape, a first-degree felony. Columbus Police Detective Jeffrey Hoon testified, saying the case was referred to him by Franklin County Children's Services. The investigation started on June 22nd with detectives meeting with the pregnant child and her mother. 2 days later, on the 24th, the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Detective Hoon says on the 29th, the girl received a consultation and on the 30th, aborted her pregnancy in Indianapolis. The detective went on to say that the, quote, product of conception was now in CPD custody. Yesterday, detectives said they issued a search warrant on GERSON Fuentes, collected a DNA sample from him, and are now waiting to see the results. Now, prosecutors had sought no bond for Fuentes, citing him living in the country illegally and the severity of the crime. His lawyer, however, said he had no record and cited his 7 years in the community working at a Dublin cafe. Fuentes was given a $2 million bond, and if convicted, prosecutors say he could face life in prison. Jen.
Alan, thank you.
It says that more than 5 million.
My Lord, my Lord. You know, I gotta say, y'all, man, yes, Detroit 313, a 10-year-old little girl. The guy you see in the thumbnail is the guy who violated the young girl. You know what I'm saying? And when she told her peoples about it and they took her to the doctor to get a R kit on her, they found out that she was pregnant. 10 years old, 10 years young. So, you know what I'm saying? We definitely gonna have this discussion. When I first heard this story, you know, like I said, I wanted to wait till more information came out. Because when I first heard about the story, they was talking about first when the little girl had to travel to Indianapolis to get the situation taken care of. But now that this story come out, it adds another element to it, and it's connecting the two stories, right? Because they came out with the story about her just having to go there to get the procedure done, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't really go into detail about it. But now, like I said, that this has happened. Now we're getting into the details. That's crazy, ain't it, Detroit 313, man? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. The stories like this, y'all, you know what I mean? It's so many things that's connected with this whole situation with human trafficking and pedophilia and SRA and all this crazy stuff, you know what I'm saying? And we got to get to the meat. Like I said, we got to get to the gristle, man, if we going to figure out how we, as far as like, because you see the politicians, they ain't doing nothing. In fact, when you think in the certain situations, they're involved. They're involved at high levels that most of y'all ain't even willing to accept as possibly being true. We're going to keep it here on the local level, though, right here in my city, Columbus, Ohio, right? Let's go to this article, right? I can show you the article. I can show y'all this article. Pretty sure I can. Let me bring it up real quick for y'all. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can show this. You feel me? My Lord, man. A Columbus man was accused Wednesday of impregnating a 10-year-old girl who then had to leave Ohio for an abortion. GERSON Fuentes, 27, was arraigned in Franklin County Common Pleas Court, charged with rape of a child under 13. He was ordered held on a $2 million bond. The victim in the case was identified as a 10-year-old in statements made at the arraignment hearing and the news release from Attorney General Dave Yost. It was also stated that the victim underwent an abortion procedure in Indianapolis. In recent days, after Indianapolis Star reported a doctor there had been, contacted by an Ohio doctor for help getting an abortion for a 10-year-old, the story became a flashpoint in the abortion debate. Advocates criticized the Ohio law that bans abortion after about 6 weeks gestation, and others began to ask whether the story was even true. There is no case request for analysts that looks anything like this, or analysis that looks anything like this, Yost said in the Fox News appearance this week. But after the arraignment, he applauded Columbus police in arresting Fuentes. My heart aches for the pain suffered by this young child, Yost said in a statement. I am grateful for the diligent work of the Columbus Police Department in securing a confession and getting a rapist off the street. The video player above shows footage from the arraignment. That's what they just showed. That's the clip I just showed y'all. The anti-abortion group Ohio Right to Life also cast doubt on the initial report, saying we really need to question the source of this. In response to the charges, the group offered prayers to the victim but called the abortion a band-aid solution that only added to the pain and violence perpetrated against her. On the other side, a state legislator, even President Joe Biden, were horrified that the girl had to leave the state for her abortion. Now look at this statement right here, y'all. Hold on. Look at this statement right here, y'all. Right? Personhood for unborn begins at conception. Keyword personhood. Right? Y'all know what personhood is? How about, do y'all know what corporate personhood is? Now, apparently it wasn't at this time, Detroit 313, because she definitely went out there and got it done. It might be now, right? Let's go back to it. 10 years old, raped, 6 weeks pregnant, already traumatized, Biden said last week. She was forced to travel to another state. Imagine being that little girl. Does anyone believe that it's the highest majority view that should not be able to be dealt with or in any other state in the nation? a 10-year-old girl should be forced to give birth to a rapist child. I can tell you what, I don't. I can't think of anything as much more extreme. State Senator Tina Maharath, the Democrat of Columbus, who has sponsored legislation now Ohio to sue over an unintended pregnancy, said current state law is devastating. I am relieved that she had the resources to leave Ohio to have a necessary medical procedure. I'm going to repeat that. I am relieved that she had the resources to leave Ohio to have a necessary medical procedure, Mara said. So now they're calling abortions procedures. You hear me? Cupcake, what's good? They're calling going to get your baby basically evacuated from your body. They're calling that a health procedure. That is health care. Uncle Diggity, what's good? What you big bro? How you doing? Think about that, y'all. Now, y'all know it's like mad cases like this across the states, right? I want y'all to do some research into what corporate personhood is. Hold on, let's just look it up real quick. How about that? How about we just look up the definition of corporate personhood? How many of y'all know what corporate personhood is? How many of y'all know what corporate personhood is? Pay attention to that statement in that article. All right. Corporate personhood. All right. Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit. I told you on my screen that acting funny. I mean, letting me blow nothing up. Go get this joint fixed. But I'm gonna read it to y'all, all right? If y'all, yeah, see, if you put it on the big screen, you'll be able to see it. You put it on the full screen mode, but I'm gonna read it though. Corporate personhood or juridical personality is the legal notion that a juridical person, such as a corporation, separately from its associated human beings. I'm going to repeat that. Corporate personhood or juridical personality is the legal notion that a juridical person, such as a corporation, separately from its associated human beings, or what is known as straw man. See, this is a whole nother conversation right here, but it's just funny that they said that in the article. See, they gotta keep it, they gotta tell us what's going on without us knowing what's going on when they say this type of stuff. See, most people don't even pay attention to that when they read that article. Even online, they don't even pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'll be talking about studying human language, studying the English language. You know what I'm saying? So you can break down these words, so stuff like that. It gets so odd. When we talk about personhood, we're talking about corporate entities, right? Or corpse orations. Yeah, that's crazy. Ain't it? Detroit 313, bro? Ain't that crazy? Calling abortion health care, man. That's crazy, man. Right? So, yeah, y'all see that dude in the thumbnail, man. GERSON FUENTES, right? I'm gonna pull a picture of him up real quick, man. This guy. Pull a picture of him up for y'all, man. Out here violating young girls. It's crazy. That's him right there, man. You put it on the big screen, you'd be able to see it, man. And you know, I noticed that a lot of stuff is happening in my city, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of very violent crimes involving children happening in my city. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, there's many factors that go into this stuff, because you got to think about the numbers and the stats come from the incidences that get reported. You know what I'm saying? Just keep that in your mind frame and put that in perspective, that the majority of the cases of this type of situation right here go unreported. And I know that. But when we even go just based off of the reported cases, we have numbers that are not as high as we would be led to believe and think they are, but they're at a level to where we should definitely be taking a look at this, man. You know what I'm saying? What is going on, right? What is leading to this? Why is it happening? Cui bono? Right? Nah, they said if he gets sentenced, he was definitely gonna be sentenced to life in prison, but they ain't saying nothing about the death penalty though. But that don't mean they wouldn't. That don't. Hey, listen here. Let me cam up for this one too, y'all. Let me tell y'all about Ohio, judicial system, man. They stone cold. Y'all better do your research on Ohio's Supreme Court and Ohio Department of Corrections and the whole way they handle criminals in Ohio. They do not play down here, man. It's a strong motto in Ohio is you come on vacation and you leave on probation. I was locked up when I was in the joint with dudes from everywhere: New York, California, Illinois, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina. It was mad people from everywhere. You hear me? Come to Ohio on vacation, leave Ohio on probation, man. And I'm not even making that up, man. You hear me? Serious business. But yeah, though, man. And this is the questions we got to start asking concerning these type of situations, man. You know, we all, well, not saying we all, but some of us have kids out here, man. And, like I say, this is all part of, and I gotta always bring this up. I know, damn right, Detroit 313, that's crazy, ain't it, bruh? You know what I'm saying? Plus, when you got a little girl, you got little daughters out here, that stuff will make you feel some type of way. You got kids, period, but especially when it happened to a little girl, like, come on, man. Come on, man. It's crazy, man. And this all ties into what I've been telling y'all, man. When I be talking about this, I'm never going to let up on this. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to lighten up, die down, none of that stuff, man. You hear me? Because this is what it all boils down to right here. You feel me? The Violent Radicalization and the Homegrown Terrorism Prevention Act. All of this stuff is connected and tied to HR 1955, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And don't, Detroit 313, whatever you doing, you keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? And I strongly suggest that anybody who's doing any type of criminality out there, any type of crime activity, anything that is illegal, I strongly suggest that you figure something different out and stop it. Because, you know what I'm saying, this new system coming in ain't about to be lenient on criminals at all. They even about to make criminals out of people who ain't even really criminals. But when we're talking about these type of situations right here, man, you know what I'm saying, it's a big reflection of our society. Because, like I said, it doesn't happen at a level to where the numbers are just like out of control, but it's happening at a level to where the numbers are out of control. The fact that it's happening in the way it's happening and the number and amount is happening, you know what I'm saying, that it is, which to be honest, compared to a nationwide basis, the numbers aren't something that's like significant by these people's standards anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up, Detroit 313. But, the fact that this is happening, like I said earlier, we got to even take into consideration the stuff that don't get reported, man. So and this is what I'm saying when I say this, the numbers that we can go off of the reported cases are something to take a look at, but not nothing in compared to what we all know, what I know to be the actual numbers of how many children come up missing, how many children is getting sexually mistreated, misused, and abused and violated. You hear me? SRA. You hear me? SRA seems to tend to be the umbrella over all shrewd, lewd, diabolical, and lascivious sexual deviant acts that could be committed against anybody, namely specifically children. All right. SRA. Do y'all know what SRA is? You know what I'm saying? And not to say that every case involving a situation like this is connected with SRA. More than likely it probably is at some level though. But when they put these situations out in front of us like this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's something that you want to take a look at. Any case that makes the news, basically, you know what I'm saying? You want to do, I guarantee you, we find out what's really going on with these stories. It's something going on behind them, you know what I mean? Outside of just the norm, you know what I'm saying? Because like I say, a lot of this stuff do not get reported. My Lord, man. That's sad. It's very sad. You know what I'm saying? And this all leads into, you know what I'm saying, a lot of stuff in society that contributes to stuff like this happening. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure we look into this GERSON Fuentes' background. You know, he probably had some situations going on at home to lead him to where he's, you know, feels the urge to, you know, violate young kids. 10 is young. I mean, my daughter's 13, so 10 is real young. But this is all tied in with HR 1955 and some more stuff. I want y'all, and the reason why I keep bringing up, HR 1955 is because I want y'all to see how everything that they putting in front of us in the news is made to violently radicalize. Y'all get the feeling that stuff y'all seeing on the news. Shouts out to my brother Red Supreme TV1. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see how we are being made to act out in anger. I dare say violently, even physically, to the point where it's as if we're being provoked to do something. Let me say this, man. It's to the point where they like, man, they just letting us get away with anything. And my question is this: have we acquiesced? Have we as a whole acquiesced? And I ain't even talking about black people, because I say, you know, we got our issues amongst us. But if y'all think that this stuff that's happening is just reserved for us, y'all crazy. You hear me? You know what I'm talking about? And when I say we, I don't mean black people. I mean all of us. Have we acquiesced to the point to where they like, we can basically hit these people with anything and they ain't gonna do nothing? We can just create situations to where childs can be violated and impregnated at the age of 10. You hear me? We can just sit up here and just keep getting off this freaky stuff and deny it in their face like it ain't going on. We can have all little front, which is very sad, man. It's sad to hear that this little girl had to go all the way to Indianapolis to get the procedure done, man. That is sad, which is not health care. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care how anybody feel about it. I don't care about none of your political views or none of that, man. It ain't, it is what it is. It's deletion, getting rid of, eviscerating, annihilating, destroying. It is all of that. Ain't nothing health care about that. I don't care how anybody feels about that. My body, my choice. Soon as y'all have a baby, it's no longer your body. You know? But yeah, though, man. Just had to say that, man, for real. But this situation right here, you got to think about it, though, y'all. Seriously, man. The trauma of being violated at such a young age, right? And then having to go the procedure at such a young age, I'm gonna say is equally traumatic. I dare say even more traumatic as far as having to force deletion of said situation. You know, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, just think about the type of situations that's going on in our society. Think about how things are being made to happen. Think about how we are being morally deconstructed and morally broken down as a society. You know what I mean? It's serious, man, when stuff like this is happening, man, and it's out in the open. Not saying that it hasn't happened before, not saying that it is something that hasn't been happening, but in the way, in the manner, and not only that, though, y'all, in the way in which we are being presented with it. Look at the way that it's being presented to us through this platform of technology that we all interact with on a daily basis. I want y'all to understand over inner, outer, extra stand, y'all, the correlation and the connection of how this is further breaking us up. I'm telling you, y'all gotta pay attention to this stuff, man. You know what I mean? This is morally dehumanizing. Think about what stories like this do to the collective human psyche, especially in America, right? And how you can be led to be violently radicalized. Now, mind y'all, violent radicalization don't necessarily mean seeing a story like this and getting mad and going to go beat up some Mexican-looking dudes, right? Nah, I'm gonna dare say that's not even the extreme right there. I will even challenge it and say that the extreme would be to use force in a different way. Because if y'all remember the definition of violent radicalization, it don't necessarily mean physical violence. Or should I say ideologically based violence? All right. Listen to me now, y'all. Violent radicalization is defined as the use, planned use, or threatened use of force or violence. So if you just was even, I guess, basically what I'm doing now could be considered ideologically based violence. I want y'all to start thinking about that and then think about why I talk about HR 1955 so much. It's coming for our very right to think. And y'all see when I talk about 1984, when I talk about the thought police, it's getting serious, y'all, man. So, you know what I'm saying? It's so sad what happened to the young lady, man. You know what I'm saying? She's just a baby. And to go, like I said, to go through the trauma of being violated like that by someone who I'm pretty sure was like family, if not family. And then to have to travel out of state at the age of 10, probably just started your, your little, cycle and had to go through this experience, right? It's just, like, honestly, it's just crazy, man. You hear me? Now, when y'all hear me say SRA, right? How many of y'all heard of SRA? Because this is something that I think if a lot of y'all was privy to and y'all knew about it, and when these situations happen, you do your due diligence. I'm pretty sure what I have come to see when I look at cases like this involving young children being violated in this way. I haven't heard many recently, or can I recall, to this extremity of a young lady becoming impregnated. But at this age, at 10, that's pretty young, you know what I'm saying? But I want y'all to know that when y'all see stories involved with children being violated, being trafficked, being whatever done to them, specifically, especially, even the ones that are in the public, right? And this goes on majorly behind the scenes, unreported, but even the ones we see reported, I'm pretty sure there's at some point you do your due diligence. And what I have come to find is that there's going to be some SRA involved, right? Hit that like button, y'all. We chopping up real good game over here, man. You know what I'm saying? Considering this situation with babies being violated in this way. And, you know, it's sad that this is happening like around this. Just think about now that Roe v. Wade has been overturned. I want y'all to pay attention to the number of cases involving sexual deviancy and unwanted pregnancies and stuff. Watch how we're about to be inundated with this type of stories, right? And then us as a society, we have to be able to question the validity of these stories, right? And we also got to keep in mind when it comes to us being exposed to this type of information, we got to be aware of how it is affecting us, not only individually, but as a whole. You know what I'm saying? When we start seeing stuff like this so rampant in the media, I'm telling you right now, this is why they created this legislation, violent radicalization through ideologically based violence on the internet, right? Now I'm gonna tell y'all how far violent radicalization goes. Think about when the dudes just whooped on. Shout out to my brother Red Supreme TV1. Just earlier, Red was talking about, talking about how the Mexicans jumped on Eric Holder in the county when he went to court. You know what I'm saying? That's violent radicalization. I want y'all to understand how deep and how various and how unambiguous and how broad violent radicalization is. It's the new RICO law. It's the new conspiracy charge. You did. And it's just crazy, man. Me mom, my man, Detroit 313 up, man. And Uncle Diggity, man. You know what I'm saying? Our brothers be coming through supporting, man. Definitely can dig that. You did. But yeah, though, y'all, man. Did you say minority report? Yes, Detroit 313. Yes, minority report type-ish. Right? The precogs, the Office of Pre-Crime being charged. See, listen, they gave you the they even slid the time travel in there. But basically what it is that, and that was like mental drifting. Remember I was telling y'all about how the process they used to connect with the Jaeger robots in Pacific Rim through the process of human brain computer interface, and they call drifting. Right? Now think about in Minority Report, when they had the precogs land in that water, that is basically what they were doing. But they were doing it with the machine to create or be able to predict what would happen, or going back in the past to see what type of crime this person would possibly be potentially capable of committing in the future. So we get into spooky stuff, man. You hear me? And all of this stuff is connected. I keep asking, and I don't know if nobody's hearing me. I don't know if somebody's avoiding me. Y'all just don't care about the question, but I'm asking y'all, are any of y'all aware of what SRA is? Because I'm telling y'all look into this SRA, and look at these crimes, like I say, crimes of sexual deviancy, abuse, and even, violation, sexually, what you're going to find is a lot of these cases are connected with SRA. Right. And it's sad, though, because remember when I was talking to y'all the other night about compartmentalization? Exactly, Detroit 313. That's human brain computer interfacing, right? Linking and syncing electronically, vibrationally, frequency, right, to the hive mind collective of artificial intelligence, which is really Lucifer, Satan, right? And when I talk about SRA, I'm talking about satanic ritualistic abuse. Y'all look into that. All right. Do your research into SRA. And y'all gonna see how prevalent a lot of these cases that we actually do get shown on TV is connected with that. Because you know what I'm saying, 4% of the American population are admitted Luciferianists / Satanists. So just imagine how, and you just do what 4% of the human population or the U.S. population is. If I'm not correct, I think I'm saying it wrong. I want to say it's like 10% of 4. Hold on, I can find out real quick. How about that? Yeah, man. Y'all make sure y'all go. I ain't gonna do it. Y'all go do it. We gonna stay right here. If y'all want to find out about SRA, go do your research. I just put y'all up on game about it. If you ain't already hip, just do your research on SRA, satanic ritualistic abuse. All right. So how y'all feeling about this, man? I know y'all, I mean, I ain't gonna say I know because I don't, but I hope y'all not hearing similar stories like this where y'all from, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I know this is a thing that happens that doesn't get reported a lot. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of young girls who have been violated and became impregnated and whatever the situation may be. But just think about that, what I just said. So, and then think about what I said about SRA. Yeah, they big sleeping, man, Detroit 313. Think about what I just said about SRA and when I said how prevalent that this is that doesn't get reported though. Because, you know, the only way a 10-year-old girl, a 10-year-old kid, you believe me that it's a 10-year-old girl running around looking like she's 20, you know what I'm saying, being the thought? No. So what is happening to where young children are being violated in this way in the number that I know to be the real numbers, which is not the reported numbers we see when we type up the stats or when we look at stories like this on the news, right? Now, I'm not saying GERSON FUENTES is involved with anything to do with SRA. Of course, I don't know that to be true. I would have to do some research into his background, right? Yes, Detroit 313. Yes. So I mean, I don't know that. So you know what I'm saying. But what the reason why I bring it up is for y'all to be put up on game about when we hear these type of stories. And if you do your due diligence, I guarantee you, most of these stories, even the ones we see on TV and the ones that are reported, when you do your due diligence, they're connected to SRA. Right. And when we think about SRA, when we think about situations like John Benet Ramsey. Y'all remember John Benet Ramsey? Remember that little girl? Yeah, John Benet. Looking to her mom and who her mom and father was. You feel me? And just think about the situation that a 10-year-old would have to be in to for this to happen. Now, are we to be led to believe that by this story that this has randomly happened to little girls as they're walking home from school and the guy just snatches them up, throw them in a van and rape them? No. No, no, and no. This is not the case here. I'm pretty sure GERSON was a member of the family or a friend of the family to some extent and had access to the little girl. So the question has to become, what's going on? Yes, Uncle Diggity. Only y'all of a certain age might remember Jean Benet. If y'all like my age, I'm going to say if you like somewhere between 30 and 40, man, I'm going to even bump it up, Uncle Diggity, and say from 35 to 40. If you between 35 and 40, okay, I say 30 and 40. If you between 30 and 40, you especially between 35 and 40, I know y'all remember John Benet Ramsey. That stuff was on the news for like a whole year and some change, right? So I just say this to say that, like I said, I'm not saying this is the situation here because I haven't looked into it, but the fact that it's making national news, and I want y'all to over-enter, outer-understand this. When we see stuff from our various little cities that come on our local news that make it to national, if not international news, that how you know that that situation was a part of the agenda. And I promise you, if you do your due diligence on that case, you're going to connect some dots, and you're going to see some people that's involved that you wouldn't think to be involved, because you're not being shown everything you need to know about the case. Only what is being shown to create a certain narrative and a certain perspective for us to have, right? Oh, it's a sad situation, right? But when you look at the stats of the reported cases, it's not happening in a large enough number as in comparison to the total U.S. population, but it's happening and it's sad. But that's, like I said, just the reported. We're not discussing the unreported cases of this situation, which I'm telling y'all happen way more often than what you would even be willing to accept as being possible, right? I'm gonna tell y'all like this. They keep records for how many cars are stolen by each state, right? They keep certain type of numbers for each state. They keep numbers also on the number of children that reportedly come up missing each year. And this is reported, y'all, right? Reported. When we talking about unreported, like I said, y'all, the number is so astronomically high, it would make your mouth drop, your jaw drop, like when you first heard what the actual numbers of how many babies that women, specifically Black women, have aborted in the past 40 years, right? When we talk about the number of children that go missing each year, because I'm telling y'all, they keep track of this stuff per state. And we're talking reported. That means somebody called and said, my baby missing, right? It will make your jaw drop. You hear me? How many numbers it is. And the question has to become, what are happening to these children? Where are they going? What is happening to them? And when this situation like this happened, luckily the little girl did nothing. She didn't come up missing or anything, but think about this right here. Young children becoming impregnated. Now think about this. Now, I'm about to throw this out there to y'all. Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that bell. Subscribe to the page, man. You know what I'm saying? We chopping it up right now. Real talk. You feel me? Hey, real talk. You feel me? Now think about this aspect of it. We got the kids being violated in this way, right? You know what I'm saying? And considering SRA and considering the amount of cases that go unreported that this stuff is happening, right? So what does that tell you is being allowed to happen? Because if, to be honest with y'all, not saying that people aren't creeps out there and sexually violate people and assault people and all that stuff, but for the most part, it's not something that anybody would experience. And the most time, if you do experience, how did you experience it? From somebody you know or somebody that's in your family. You ain't just walking down the street and a random goon creep just jump out and just do something to you. Not saying that doesn't happen, but it happens so small, right, that the numbers ain't even really worth talking about, for real. Of people who just randomly out the blue just accost people in public and sexually violate them. That number is so significantly low and compared to the population that, like I said, it's almost as if it doesn't even happen, right? But when you look into this SRA and you look into when these situations happen to people, family, close to the family, people who are connected through various means and ways, like the JonBenet Ramsey case, you start to get a different picture. And I'm just shocked at the level of crime that's just been happening in my city, especially since I've been home, with guys violating children, deleting children, sexually violating children, right? I'm talking about in my city, y'all. Oh my God, man. You hear me? It's terrible. So many cases that I can recall. You know what I'm saying? And it's just sad, man. You know what I mean? And I think that it's very important that we have these conversations and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because when we all put our thoughts together and share the information on what we know, you know what I'm saying, we can better prepare each other, better inform each other. So if we in our situation or in your family, in your school, do some research on SRA. Your kid might be going to school with somebody who is a victim of SRA. This thing is generational, and this ties back into the Violent Radicalization and Homegrown Terrorist Prevention Act. I want y'all to see how all this stuff is connected, man. And you know, most of us got kids. I ain't gonna say most, a lot of us got kids. A lot of us men out here, we got little girls, man. You know, just like I think about the safety of my child in the same way that I think about it for yours. Is equal. I don't want more safety for my child than for yours. I want the same for all kids, man, especially when it comes to situations like this. Imagine you, my Lord. This story right here touched me when I seen it, because I ain't gonna lie to y'all, to be honest with you. And like I said, I haven't looked into it, but when I seen this story and when I read everything that's involved with it, and she had to go out, I'm like, man, that sound like some SRA related type stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more to this story than what we're being told. It's crazy, man. Man, yeah, stuff like that, Detroit 313. You feel me? Telling y'all, man, look into this stuff, man. Inform yourself on this stuff, man. You know, it wouldn't even be bad. I know we sit up here and say certain things shouldn't be discussed with our children, but when your children become of a certain age, I think nowadays, due to the technology, children are a little bit more perceptually prepared to handle certain levels of traumatic information and it not have a negative effect on them when explained and conveyed to them in a way that they can not only understand, but in the way that is not designed to screw with how they're perceiving it and perceiving it negatively. Right? Would y'all agree with that? You know, because I know it can be uncomfortable and unsettling to have these conversations, but I like to think, or I ain't gonna say I like to think, I can see due to the evidence of stuff being displayed in our society in real time, I think it will behoove us as parents, mentors, whatever you may be, to come up with ways to have these discussions to put our kids up on game, man, about what's going on so they can be aware. Because like I say, you go to school, you know what I'm saying? You got to think, though, kids just was forced to stay in the house for a year and some change behind this moment like lean BS. Hold on, you know what I mean? I'll look up the author for that book real quick, Detroit 313. That's why we fully interactive over here. You know what I'm saying? Hold on a minute. This right here. You talking about that right there? Detroit 313? This one? One on the end right there, Surviving the Occult. Yeah, man. It's crazy, y'all, man. And like I said, I just think it's important. Yeah, man, I got a lot of people coming up for y'all on the show. Inspector Gadget, what it do, bro? I think that's what it was. I mean, it didn't really specifically say that in the article, but I'm pretty sure you know what I'm saying, when they took her to the hospital to get the R kit on her, and they found out she was pregnant. And I guess her peoples and the doctors here was suggesting that she don't have to go through the procedure of having a baby. So I guess they suggested somebody in Indiana to go to, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, Juju, what's up, girl? You know what I mean? It didn't really specifically say, but I'm going off of how they said they found out. I'm pretty sure when they took her to get the R kit, you know what I'm saying, something was said. No, matter of fact, I'm tripping, Inspector Gadget. The little girl told him who it was, told him it was dude. The little girl said it was GERSON FUENTES, looking boy. He looked like a GERSON. Oh, creepy ass dude, man. And I'm telling you, I was locked up with cats like this in there for doing stuff like this, man. You hear me? And I'm telling y'all right now, man. I'm telling y'all right now, man. You hear me? Let me pull up the news of this boy, man. Article of this creepy looking dude, man. Oh, nah, this has made international youth. This is on the BBC's website. Look at that. Man charged with raping. So this has made international news. Let me come up for this, y'all. So this has made international news. I'll keep telling y'all, go check into SRA. Y'all do some due diligence in who this GERSON FUENTES dude is, who his mom is, who his dad is, who he connected to. They said he worked at the restaurant for some years while he been here in America as a so-called illegal immigrant from Mexico, wherever he from. Who's the people that own that restaurant? What was the name of that girl's mom and dad? Who is her mom and dad? These are the questions you got to ask in these cases, and then you start connecting the dots and you start seeing where stuff going. But not a lot of people do that. And there's a reason why we don't do that. And this is how they're able to get away with this stuff. This is the stuff they let us know about. This is the stuff that they report on. Think about the stuff that we don't hear about, because this happens way more often than you would be comfortable with actually believing, especially when it comes to SRA. And that's the reason why I want to have this discussion tonight. Like I was saying right before, a little earlier, man, I want y'all to know, man, I got a lot of content coming for y'all, man. I got a lot of content coming for y'all. I got a lot of people coming up on here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to keep giving shouts out to my brother, Red Supreme TV1. We're doing solution-based content. Not that it's anything wrong with, you know, talking about certain things and stuff like that, but we got to keep diversifying the content. We got to talk about various issues. We got to talk about the things that, now walk with me when I say this, actually matter. Right? Like stuff like this. And now that Roe v. Wade has been passed, what we're going to see is the increased influx of these type of cases being shown to us. Now, all the while, I want y'all to keep in mind HR 1955. Whenever anything happens and we see it on a level to where it's international, national, and international, I apologize about that. Think about that. I'm about to go get me some more water. And this is why it's important to have these conversations, to put each other up on game. So the more you know, the more you grow, right? And when you're more informed, you can make better decisions. So like I say, when it comes to these kids and you do your research in the SRA, think about kids being at home for a year and some change. Think about how the psyche of children have, man, listen, going to school is a double-edged sword, because in some situations it saves kids' lives, but at the same time it's destroying them, because I'm telling y'all, schools ain't nothing but perception programming prisons, right? That's all they are. Even when we went, that's all they are. At least when we went, they gave us real food and actually have teachers that actually cared about what they did. Not saying that teachers don't care about what they do, but I'm telling y'all, if you go look at these numbers on these teachers, you're going to see that most of them are like not involved like how teachers were when we were children. When I say that, if you my age, you know what I'm talking about. Inspector Gadget, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? We had teachers that actually cared about us. They cared about what we was learning. They cared about what they taught us. And I was fortunate enough to go to this type of high school that I went to because I learned a lot of different versatile stuff and ways to learn and stuff, and I appreciate that. You hear me? And my class, my school got a Facebook group page, and I always be posting stuff in there. And they be getting mad at me and stuff, but I still do it anyway. And I know some of them be tapping in, listening to this, and I appreciate them few who do that. You hear me? Oh, Inspector Gadget. They said off top. They said if he get convicted, he getting an elbow for sure. But now if they're gonna hit him with that old deletion by state. Now that could be argued, you know what I'm saying? Didn't nobody necessarily, well, hold on. Now see where we going? I'm glad you brought that up. Let me come up for this, man. I'm glad you brought that up, Inspector Gadget, because that makes me think about it in this way. Now look how broad this thing goes with this whole deletion process, man, on all the levels, especially now that Roe v. Wade has been overturned. So now that this guy, right, violated the little girl sexually, caused her to become impregnated, then she had to travel across state to delete said procedure, right? That goes, my Lord, this is what I call connecting the dots. This is remember when I brought up personhood to y'all earlier? See how it all connects? Personhood, corporate personhood, corpse-eration, corpse-eration, right? This guy basically violated codes. You hear me? Sexually violating a minor human being, a child, impregnated her with another human resource, to which he then coerced or convened or conveyed her to convey human resource to another state, traveling across state with illegal. Y'all better see how demon time. Y'all see how demon time this shit is, man. Y'all see how evil and diabolical this whole thing is, this whole paradigm is, this whole mind fuckery process. That's crazy, man. And I just thank the Most High that I'm blessed with the sight to see this shit and connect the dots on this shit and expose this shit for what it is, man. This whole procedure, this whole process. You know what I'm saying? Y'all do some research into this SRA, which I'm pretty sure this is connected to, right? Y'all gonna see what people was really involved with this stuff at the top. And that's the main reason why I'm doing this live stream. You feel me? We being made to believe that this is just something that happened amongst the proletariat, the people, the poor people, the whoever, the whatever. But this is making international news. And I'm letting y'all know right now, whenever stories make international news, you better go do your research on them if it's something you interested or if you think it's more to the story. I'm telling you, more than likely, it's more to the story. As an independent researcher, citizen journalist, I'm telling y'all, when you do your due diligence, you'd be surprised at who's connected to who and what. Right? So how y'all feeling out there, man? You know what I mean? I know this, like I said, I know this is a sad story, you know what I'm saying? But like I always say, man, we got to get to a point, we got to have to discuss the meanest, nastiest, evil, diabolical stuff, man. You feel me? We got to start discussing this stuff, man, so we can come up. Like I say, it's good to share this information because, like I say, now that they bringing the kids back into school for the past year, going on some change, right? You know what I'm saying? You could put, I'm telling you, man. Just put it like this, and I'm not trying to be a fear monger. I don't do fear porn. I'm not trying to entice nobody to be scared and spooky and scary because I ain't even that type of guy. I just want to put you up on game and be aware about what's happening out here. right in our face, right? Crazy story, right? Detroit 313. It's crazy, ain't it, bro? Crazy. Hit that like button, y'all. Subscribe to the page, man. It's crazy, right? Detroit 313. It's absolutely insane, man. You hear me? And when I was reading the story earlier, I just was like, God damn, man. Like, man, not 10. Like, wow. You feel me? My first thought when I first heard this story and the way that it was, how everything happened, SRA automatically just came into my psyche. It came into my whole frequency, my whole, my whole what's the word, my whole stilo, man. It came into my whole you know what I mean? My whole demo, man. I said, oh my God. And I guarantee you, if I do some digging into this story, man, I'm going to find something, man. Because it's, like I say, when stories make international news, y'all, think about what I'm saying. I'll say when stories make international news, when it comes to crimes of sexual deviancy and violation sexually, right? I'm going to say about 7 to 8 times out of 10, SRA is connected to it. And that's why I brought up JonBenet Ramsey. You know what I'm talking about? It's crazy, y'all, man. And like I say, I just, since the whole situation been going on with the Schmoment a couple years ago, man, I've been noticing, excuse me, I've been noticing that a lot of very creepy, I would say very satanic in their nature, crimes in Columbus with men and women doing the most devious, diabolical, evil things to children, even up into deleting them. You hear me? Seriously, man. You know what I'm saying? Just here in Columbus alone. Not even talking about in Cleveland or Cincinnati or Toledo or Youngstown or none of that stuff. I'm talking about Columbus. There was a story not too long ago in Columbus about a guy who killed his 2 daughters who were twins and then killed their mother. Right. Now, I remember when this story happened, you know what I'm saying? Because the girl who it happened to, she was like a known person in the city. And it was very tragic because the little girls were so beautiful and they were like 5 and 6 years old. And you would have to ask yourself, man, right? Exactly. That's now we got to keep it 100. Some creepy ass niggas and did some stupid stuff, crazy, freaky stuff like that. Yes, they have. It's a guy named Lindsey. What was the guy's name? Lindsey Bruce. Let me see if I can pull him up real quick for y'all. All right. A couple of years ago, I was locked up with this dude too. Lindsey Bruce. Let me see. That's his name. I think that was his name. Lindsey Bruce, Columbus, Ohio. Let me see if this is this guy. Man, what was this dude's name, man? Oh, that is right. I forgot all about this, y'all. Let me see if I can get a picture of these 2 bozos, man. 2 creepy ass dudes, right? This guy right here, y'all. You hear me? Let me bring up this picture in this. I'm gonna bring this article up right here. Let me tell y'all a story of 3 damn stooges, right? You hear me? Hold on. Let me switch it up for y'all real quick. Hold on. Man, this is a crazy story right here, y'all. I'm about to share with y'all. All having to do with these. We ain't getting off topic. I'm just saying because they all were violators to some point, especially this dude right here. You hear me? Especially this guy right here on the left. Now, you got TJ Lane and Lindsey Bruce. I don't remember what this guy is, but he's irrelevant. Focus on these two right here, the black guy and the white kid, right? Lindsey Bruce was in prison for violating a young girl, a 5-year-old, I think, and killed her, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And this guy, TJ Lane, it was a story in Chardon, Ohio, where this guy went to a school and just to a church or something like that, where school within a church, daycare situation, and just killed a bunch of kids. He's known in international news because when he came to his court, he was very defiant. He was very callous and cold and unrelenting and unforgiving and taking accountability. And he came in court with a T-shirt that said "killer" on it. I used to feed this dude his damn lunch and breakfast every day for 9 months straight when I was in CRC as a cadre working in the D unit, which is the mental health and severely disturbed mental health unit. And I used to feed this dude his lunch and his breakfast and lunch every day for like 9 months. This guy they had him on some of the strongest psychotropic drugs you can imagine. Ain't that crazy? Detroit 313? Right? You can go hit a bank, you're going to get the same amount of time as somebody who did something as evil as this. And we're going to say what it is. It's straight evil, like Detroit, like Inspector Guy said. Straight evil. You know what I mean? Straight evil. And that's what it is. Y'all do your research into who Lindsey Bruce and TJ Lane and whoever this dude is. I said, I don't really remember what it is. But these dudes escaped from LCI a couple years back. They escaped from prison. These three goofballs together. They got caught eventually. All right, one of these days, I'm gonna tell y'all a story of how I know TJ Lane's sister and met his sister on the street. I'm gonna tell y'all that story. That's a whole nother show right there, y'all. That got to do with a whole nother show right there. You hear me? When I tell y'all this story about what I'm gonna tell y'all about, y'all gonna be like, wow. You hear me? It's gonna be very interesting. I'm gonna do a whole live podcast about it. And oddly enough, the connection that I got with TJ Lane and his sister outside of knowing him in prison, or not even really knowing him, but just feeding him his food and giving him and stuff like that. But it's crazy that when it comes to SRA and when it comes to things like other situations we're going to talk about when I do it, it's crazy. And it's connected to what we're talking about tonight. Because do your research on TJ Lane. He was up there in Charlotte. He killed a whole bunch of little kids. And this dude right here, I want to say Lindsey Bruce, violated the little 5-year-old girl, if I'm not mistaken. She was younger than the 10-year-old girl, but she died or something like that, though, if I'm not mistaken. But these goofballs escaped from London a couple years ago and got caught. So I'm gonna tell y'all, as a guy who was locked up in a joint in Ohio, man, you hear me? One thing I could say about the state of Ohio, there are a lot of chomos. There are a lot of creeps, a lot of sexual deviants in Ohio. And it's not surprising to me that when I did my research in the SRA, I found out that a high percentage happens in Ohio. Right? So y'all hit that like button, man. Subscribe to the page, man. With stories like this, they're just sad, man. But I think it's really important that we have discussions about them because, like I said, man, we find out information like what we're talking about tonight, and this could help us identify this if we see it. If you see it, if you just happen to do some research in SRA and pay attention to your children's friends, your neighbors, and stuff like that. You think about situations where when you be out and about and you see kids with their parents and stuff like that. You know, they have a list of ways you can tell that a child is involved with SRA. Something that I strongly suggest every parent inform themselves on. Google it, right? You're going to use your Google or use it for something that actually matters. Use your Google to come up with, type in ways to identify a child who may potentially be a victim of SRA. Hit that like button if you could, if you would. You hear me? So what y'all think about this, man? Are y'all seeing similar stories in y'all various cities and states? Pay attention to the sudden influx of these situations. Think about that, y'all, man. I know some of y'all, you know, got something to say about this situation right here, or, you know, similar situations or the effect this is having. And the question goes, I'm literally asking y'all this question. How many of y'all are seeing similar stories in your various cities? News, local news. Are y'all seeing these type of stories in your various cities, local news? You know, notice and pay attention how these numbers, the stories of these type of stories are increasing, if you would, as Roe v. Wade has been overturned. And what do y'all think about it? Y'all think in this case, who this is like I like to have these type of conversations. Who thinks, agrees with, right, that if this happens to a child that at this age, this is the reason why abortion laws need to be abortion rights? You've been seeing it, Detroit 313? It's crazy. Think about how they're basically saying that a woman's right or a female's right or a young female who's, let's just say, is not in many ways prepared to be a mother, whether it be by violation or whatever, willing or whatever, right? The rights of her then for a custodial parent or her overseer, basically, or her primary caregiver having so right or having said authority. My question, y'all, who has the right to decide who lives or dies? Mind you, unless your life is in danger. The question becomes, is at the age of 10, is a young girl's body in is her life in danger of giving birth at the age of 10? Is it possibly potentially life-threatening? I don't know. I haven't seen the reports or the studies on that, but I would like to think a young 10-year-old girl, I would like to think her, I'm not saying it wouldn't, it's potentially possible. I mean, anybody, I guess any woman is subject to, probably potentially not making it, but, I don't know. Do the research, Inspector Gadget, and see what you come up with, brother. You a critical thinking guy like me. You know how to connect the dots. You have very good deductive reasoning. You do your research and your re-research and your research of the re-research and all of that. You hear me, brethren? Get to the bottom of it, man. I'm pretty sure it's going to be some connection somewhere, man. Let me take this off the goddamn screen. But yeah, y'all, man. You hear me? Y'all go look into TJ Lane. Listen, I worked at... I was at CRC from 2012 to 2000 to like the end of 2014. You know what I'm saying? Well, actually to like the mid 2015 for real, to be honest with you. Now I'm thinking about it. But when I was at CRC, I was a cadre. At first, I was at Ross, which is a level 3 prison, because that's what I got classed up due to my offense, which I don't think was worth all that though. But I'm glad I experienced what I did, because I didn't want to go to no camp like that. No, anyway, I was a cadre there, and I worked in D unit. I worked in D1 and D2, right? D1 and D2 is the severe mental health facilities, right? I'm talking about these dudes was in there somehow getting a hold of razors, cutting their scrotum, cutting their penis. I'm talking about just doing just crazy stuff, man. A lot of these guys have big demons on them, man. You hear me? And when I used to walk up to their cells, and I walk up to their, they'd just be looking at me, and I'll just be looking at them like, my Lord, my Lord. But nigga like me, you feel me? Anyway, you know what I'm saying? And when I was working down there, y'all, I seen some stuff, man. You hear me? I seen some very, very, very diabolical shit going on. I'm gonna just say that, man. You hear me? I saw how they was experimenting on those dudes with these severe psychotropic drugs that totally altered their psyche and the way they were and who they were, how they processed their speech, how they motor capabilities were affected in the various ways that they were. I witnessed all this stuff, man. You hear me? Maybe it wasn't, and that's the type of thoughts that you got. And this is what leads into what really happened. And if this just was like a niche accident, that he just was on some freaky stuff and he violated, no, man, was this something that we need to really, and like I say, the fact that it made international news is something to make it worthy of further investigation and due diligence research, Inspector Gadget. You hear me? My brethren. All right. And when I worked in the D unit, man, I seen how they was experimenting on them dudes with them drugs, man. A lot of them guys, I remember the one guy, TJ Lane, when he wasn't on his meds, he was at least functional enough to speak and have a somewhat, how can I say it? I want to say meaningful, but a somewhat, let's just say legible conversation, a comprehensive conversation. When I knew when I was talking to him that he comprehended the exchange of dialogue between us. And he used to tell me that he could hear things. People were talking to him in his sleep. He even told me one night that it was happening before he went to prison. And I'm going to get into the story of how I know that whatever was going on with TJ Lang was connected to some form of SRA, because I met his sister. And I'm going to tell y'all how I met his sister and where I met his sister. It's going to be very interesting. I'm telling y'all going to like it. Y'all guys, I done had some very wild experiences, and everything that I have experienced in my life has been connected to this research and information. I know I'm not just talking about stuff that I Googled. I'm not talking about stuff that I read a book on, although I read many books on most of the stuff I'm talking about. I'm talking about things like I actually experienced in my life and seeing this stuff that I've researched played out in society. Right here in Columbus, Ohio. And it's gonna be fire when I tell y'all about it. And I might, and if I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that, because he probably still gung-ho. Right? But I'm gonna find out for y'all. And I know y'all thinking like, what this nigga Verse talking about. Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see when I bring it out, y'all, it's gonna bring y'all right to this conversation right here. Y'all gonna remember exactly what I'm talking about. You hear me? Hit the like button, y'all. Smash that subscribe button. Now, this happens way more than what most of y'all would be willing to even accept as being true. I challenge y'all to something, right? What my man Inspector Gadget say. Exactly. Inspector Gadget. There's so many things that possibly go, but just think about this. When they put stories like this in front of us, and then they make it to the level of being national and international news, what's the number one question I tell y'all that y'all need to be asking when you see something like this? I say it on Red's platform all the time. Shout out to my brother Red Supreme TV1. Right. Shout out to Shantastic Trill TV 2, because she on the front line of this abortion mess. Right. And I'm gonna say what it is, mess. Because that's what it is, mess. People sitting up here arguing over the right to murder. Delete. See how they got us watching our language and stuff? I'm going to say unalive. Listen here, y'all. And I'm going to do a whole show on this. A whole episode dedicated to breaking down George Orwell's concept of newspeak. Right? Shout out to my brother Inspector Gadget, man, for I know him being a fellow researcher, man. You hear me? And a free thinker, open thinker. You hear me? Thinking from all vantage points. You know what I mean? All the possibilities. You feel me? Because that's the only way we're going to get to. We have to entertain all possibilities. When we start to be like, nah, that ain't what it is, or it can't be that, or that's not true, that's not real. See, we start taking away our ability to connect the dots on things just because we don't want to look at what the possibility could be, especially when it's based off of actual factual information. Information that we're not privy to, not made privy to, and that is a reason why. I want y'all to pay attention how deductive reasoning and critical thinking is being deleted, literally deleted from our psyche. Yeah, you already know, Inspector Gadget. You already know. I spoke on it earlier, brethren. Thousands. What about those damn near 1 million black guys that came up missing in New York a couple years ago out of the prison system? Do y'all know about that? Right? Exactly, Inspector Gadget. So, and listen, this guy, GERSON Fuentes, they said that he was an illegal immigrant. They didn't call him an illegal alien. They called him an illegal immigrant. Now, I want y'all to know the difference between being an illegal immigrant and an illegal alien. Or did y'all know that there was a difference? Y'all probably see this is how they play the mind tricks on this, y'all, because they associate these words with familiar imagery. So we connect the two as being the same, but they're different. An immigrant is different from an alien. Y'all go check out Black's Law Dictionary so y'all can find out the proper definition to these words that we use and we don't even know, because in one context, monster can mean a scary creature, but in a legal, lawful, corporate personhood definition, monster means a human being. Right? I feel so sad for that little girl, especially her family, you know what I'm saying? But for that little girl to go through that experience she went through, to be so young, you hear me? That is just, I know how traumatizing that's going to be on this little girl. I understand compartmentalization. I understand trauma-based mind control, which is a part of SRA. That's a fact, Inspector Gadget. That's real. And this is the main reason why I'm having this conversation, y'all, because, you know, this happens more than what, like I say, this happens more than what some of us will be willing to accept, y'all. Some of y'all, like, I'm going to challenge y'all to something, right? Go call the state, call the Department of State, I forget what office you call. I want to say you could call the Office of Missing Children, or I can't remember exactly what it's called. Agent provocateurs are very real, Inspector Gadget, and they are abound on YouTube. You hear me? So box cleverly with your words, right? But I challenge y'all, call the Department of Missing Children, Missing Persons, whatever that place is called, and y'all go by, and they do this by state. They keep these records by state, man. Y'all call your various states and ask them what their numbers was for 2021. And the records go back years, decades too. All right. Yes, and it's sad though, man. You know, I have to present that question, Inspector Gadget, because have we acquiesced as a whole? It hurts me to say yes a little bit, man. You feel me? It's to the point to where things like this, we aren't accepting them as a society. Like, it's okay. And this all plays into the LGBT, LMNOP barbecue committee. Shout out to the homie Syphil the P. You feel me? Definitely. It plays into that. And HR 1955, all of this stuff fits in together, man. You know, and this is the reason why I show y'all the visuals. This is the reason why I show y'all the actual facts. Let me come up real quick. This is the reason why I do that, y'all. So y'all don't think I'm just trying to game y'all, or I'm trying to just like be on some old fake ass conspiracy. No, everything I tell y'all about is factual. Y'all can go look it up for yourselves. You know, we ain't gonna do that. I'm a real one, man. We ain't doing that. We ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm talking about? It's real talk. That's why the podcast is called Real Talk. Right? You say cash rewards, Detroit through and through. What you talking about, bro? Cash rewards for what? Oh, you talking about for the children? This SRA thing is huge, y'all. I want y'all to go look into that. That's why I keep saying something about it. That's why I brought it up. You feel me? I want y'all to go look into it. When I looked into this and I did my research on this, y'all, I was surprised. I was shocked at the number of Ohio citizens who are actively and admittingly Luciferian Satanists. Y'all know one of them, I can't remember what city, but one of them statues that they have at the bathroom and stuff was erected also here somewhere in Ohio. I can't remember exactly where it's at. And when you think about the percentage of American citizens that are open, you know, Satanists and stuff like that, this leads you to think when we hear stories like this concerning GERSON's freaky, creepy ass, right? I know I'm pretty sure wherever he gets to where he going, right? And I want y'all to think about, this is a guy who I brought up to y'all, you know what I'm saying, the other night too. Guy who I brought up to y'all. You know what I'm talking about? I remember I told y'all about, how many of y'all remember this guy right here? Let's share this on the screen for y'all real quick. How many of y'all remember this guy right here? I was talking about it the other night. Excuse me. I was talking about it the other night. How many of y'all remember that dude right there? Let me scroll down a little bit so y'all. How many of y'all remember this guy? Exactly, missing people. You know what I'm saying? Think about what happened with Kanika Jenkins, with the young boy they found in Atlanta rolled up in the wrestling match. Think about them 800,000, like I said, guys that was missing throughout the entire state of New York prison system over a period of a year and a half, about 2019, 2018. people coming to visit their people, and they people ain't talking about they ain't there. They was released. And the family wasn't notified that they was to be released. Huh? Remember when I was talking to y'all about the secret space program? See how we get to talking about certain things and we go off into other areas, man. But keeping it on the topic, man, I just think stuff like this is sad. You know what I'm saying? Being a father and just hearing stuff like this, and being, you know what I mean, just the children, just, and you know, going through experiences in my childhood, you know what I'm saying, that I'll speak on later. You know what I mean? That's crazy, man. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about, Uncle Diggity. What was his name, Uncle Diggity? Young boy out of Atlanta, man. They found that boy in the locker room, rolled up in the mats with newspaper stuffed in him, y'all. Every one of his vital organs missing. Like he just was a skin bag just rolled up in the mat, and they took literally all his organs with the exception of his skeleton. You know. And of course, the argument is going to be when it comes to this little girl. Y'all remember Ariel Castro? It's going to be, was it more traumatic for her to go to the experience of being sexually violated, or is it going to be even more tragic for her to have to give birth to the child that was conceived from said situation? Exactly, Uncle Diggity. Exactly. Now, y'all remember the movie they came out with earlier called The Hunt? Y'all remember that movie they just came out not too long ago with old girl Amanda Heard played in it called The Hunt? See how everything is connected, y'all? This is one thing I want. Hold on, let me come up real quick, man. See how everything is connected? Y'all see how I just connected all of that just now? And I wasn't even on that. Amber Heard, she played in the movie The Hunt about them hunting people who was supporters of Trump. And then we got right, we got the kid, the bodies coming up missing, right? Basically being hunted. This stuff is crazy, y'all, man. Got my girl Lacey in the building. And that's what all parents should be doing. That's what all y'all moms should be doing to y'all kids, man. Making sure, like I say, man, these kids are very advanced. You know what I'm saying? They're advanced for the simple fact of the era that they're coming up in. They're exposed to more technology. They're exposed to more information at the drop of a hat. So they're a little bit more sharp and not that than we were, in the sense that since they came up to this access to information, they can access it quicker, which means they have more exposure to it. You hear me? We have to go to the library and stuff like that to find out about stuff like this. Exactly, Inspector Gadget. I bet you ain't send me that email, Inspector Gadget. That's why I say me and you need to link up, bro, and talk, man, so we can put something together, man. Ain't nothing like two dudes who is very well versed on such things having a build session, man, putting people up on game. Ain't nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know everything. I'm only smart enough to know how much I don't know. Right? But y'all parents should definitely be teaching y'all's children, like I say, they're a little bit more advanced. The reason why I was saying that, because when we sit down and break down these things to them, we can speak to them in manners now to which won't be so, how can I say it for the lack of a better term, but just saying what it is, it won't be so damaging to their psyche coming from you in a way that is able to be conveyed to them, to where they're not taking it from how they're taking it from the mainstream media and what they pumping into their heads at them perception prisons. They got the nerve to call schools. Because y'all see what they're doing to our kids in these schools. They're forever trying to more take away our ability to have influence on what our kids learn, and more specifically, and then more importantly, I think, how they learn. Right? Exactly. Yeah, man. Different strokes for different folks. That's all I'm gonna say to that. Detroit 313. Oh nah, that's all the way outright right there, Inspector Gadget. We ain't gonna make no mistake about that. There is an agenda, but they got actual legislation. That's why they have organizations like this one right here. And see, this is why I wanted to have this discussion, y'all. Because when y'all connect the dots on this stuff, man, you hear me? And you start researching into this stuff, man. You know what I'm talking about? And finding out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You start finding some very crazy, crazy stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? This organization right here is what I want y'all to go do some research on. You hear me? Mhm. I'm about to share my screen with y'all, man. This is an organization that I think a lot of people need to take a look at and do some research into. Right. Yeah, what? But you know, it was some niggas down there too, man. Inspector Gadget, man. John Jay, what's good, big bro? You already know you too, man. You keep winning too, bro. Big homie John Jay in the building. Hit that like button if you could, if you would, man. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, all that, man. Say hello to each other, meet and greet each other when you come in, man. You know what I'm saying? If you could, if you would, if you can, you know what I'm saying? If you want to, if you can afford it, you know what I'm talking about? You can hit that old. Well, I ain't gonna put that out there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all good. Y'all know. Y'all know if y'all want to, y'all can just ask me to put it up. I will. But that's up to the big homie John Jay. You feel me? Like I said, this is a sensitive thing, you know what I mean? But this is an organization that I think all of y'all should look into because they have a lot of political influence and power, and they are ran by some very colorful people, no pun intended, when it comes to the LGBT LMNOP barbecue committee agenda. And they rainbow flags, they making us look at everywhere. Right? Yeah, and that's the sad part about it, man. It's not, Inspector Guys. It's been around for literally thousands of years. Literally. Historically documented thousands of years. You know what I'm talking about? Look into this organization, y'all. NAMBLA stands for the National Association or the North American Man Boy Love Association. North American Man Boy Love Association. Can y'all even believe that such organizations even exist in our country? You already know, John Jay, bruh. You already know, man. I gotta drop the jewels. I gotta put y'all up on game because when it comes to this situation, like what happened in my city not too long ago with this guy, GERSON Fuentes, Inspector Gadget, man, research who GERSON Fuentes people is, bruh, or who this little girl. We're trying to find out who this little girl parents is, man. And I'm telling you, that's where we got to start. When y'all look into these cases with these kids, look into who the parents are, who they connected with, and who the person who involved with allegedly being involved or maybe even being guilty of the actual crime. Look into how they're connected to the family. That's how y'all gonna find out what all this stuff about. Straight demon time, Inspector Gadget, man. Listen to me. Straight demon time, Inspector Gadget. That's why I said, my Lord, my Lord. You hear me? My Lord. Crazy stuff we seeing in the news articles and the TV, what they showing us, man. Just damaging our psyche. Like I say, y'all understand how this is affecting the collective psyche of the American people. It's morally breaking us down. That's why you're seeing some of the stuff, crazy stuff. But I want y'all to look into this organization, man, the NAMBLA. Freaky man. Right? They even, I remember this, I seen this South Park episode where they was blazing NAMBLA. Yeah, y'all know how South Park used to get down. You feel me? Y'all remember how South Park used to get down. Oh, let me bring it up on the screen for y'all. Even South Park was clowning the NAMBLA. You know how South Park used to go in. You know what I'm saying? Not the North American Marlon Brando lookalikes. You hear me? But yeah, though, man, y'all do some research into that organization right there, man. You know what I'm talking about? And because this stuff go deep. Exactly, Uncle Diggity. That's what it's all about. Now, y'all remember, let me come up with it. See, I mean, we're not to get away from the topic because it all coincides and it's all connected. But remember when I told y'all that all this LGBTQ, trans, all this stuff, all this crazy stuff about people identifying with who they really are or who they feel they are, all this stuff ain't got nothing to do with people being allowed to be who they want to be and live their lives and be free and freedom of choice and all that. This ain't got nothing to do with any of that. This is all got to do with breaking up the psyche, right? Confusion, straight confusion about sex, about sexual identity, gender, confusion about all of that, and totally destroying the perception of what all of that is in order to get us perception prepared for a society where there is no gender, right? Because currently, if you think about it, if there's so many gender, that means that there's no more concept of what gender is when you have such a gender fluid society. Exactly, Cam that boy. Shout out to my homie Cam that boy in the building. You hear me? Think about what I just said, y'all. All this stuff is being done to shatter the psyche of what gender is and identity is, so we can identify with all these numerous and seamless and meaningless titles and identities that don't mean nothing, that ain't attached to none, but straight, like my homie Inspector Gadget said, demon time. Remember when I was breaking it down to y'all the other day about the 500 million demons being attached to, and when I did the Georgia Guidestones joint, how they say they want to keep the population at or below 500 million. They want to, and let me just expound on that real quick to anybody who was tapping in on that and listening on that, right? Exactly, Inspector Guessing, and it's stuff like that they can use. This is why I say when they try to hit us with this whole paradigm of Democrat, Republican, they all have to sign the oath to pledge allegiance to the state of Israel. So with that being said, it's a theater. They literally call it political theater, theaters of war. They're actors. But see, they colder than the Hollywood actors, if you ask me, because they got way more influence and power, if you ask me, because they got the long-lasting power as far as law and legal structure goes, which is demon time, y'all. Non-binary, cis this, cis that, all these different. Don't y'all know that Facebook has over 75 different genders that you can identify, self-identify with? Over 75. I wonder how many people know that, right? This is breaking up the psyche, splintering up the psyche, right? Shattering the psyche, compartmentalizing the psyche, honeycombing the psyche, right? To where these different programs, alters, can be programmed. And this is why you get people acting crazy. And this is why they want us to interact with this technology so much, because it is programming these different alters that we are being constantly bombarded by our psyche with and being traumatized with, especially with stories like what happened in my city with this guy doing this to this little girl, her becoming impregnated, having to go across state lines to get a procedure done to delete the said baby conceived. thus triple, or should I say double, trauma on this girl who is already being subject to possibly SRA trauma. You know, so I strongly suggest that y'all inform yourself on who NAMBLA is. I strongly inform y'all to suggest y'all to inform yourselves on what SRA is. And I strongly suggest that y'all start coming up with comprehensive ways to put y'all's children up on game about situations like this, certain types of information leading up to it, and start explaining to them how, you know, and it's crazy that we got to start doing this, y'all, but it's our duty as parents to, what's 80? What you talking about, Detroit 313? Exactly, Inspector Gadget. That's why I say question everything, man. Look at it from all possible aspects, man. Qui bono, who benefits? Who benefits from what we believe, from us believing what we're being told about these situations, man? You feel me? Detroit 313, what you mean it actually is 80? What you talking about, bro? And the black woman was a professor that she teaches that agenda BS, swirlers putting blame on black men for what they... Oh, yeah, you know, that's what they doing. And this is why they sync and link these movements to the small. I think we the smallest population. So, of course, in order to speed up the process of collectively deleting us systematically, right? They got to connect all of these BS demon time agendas to our alleged struggle, right? Look at how they always link and connect all these little subgroups to us, the LGBTQ, LMNOP, barbecue committee agenda, the so-called divestment agenda, B1, women's empowerment. Think about all this stuff, y'all, man. All these different identity groups within an identity group to identify yourself with, further contributing to breaking up your psyche. To where you remember you identify with so much stuff, you don't even know who the hell you are anymore. And that contributes to people being so morally disillusioned, psychologically, sociologically, emotionally from the said system matrix that they do stuff like what this GERSON did to this little girl. And this is how these things are made to happen. 80, oh, you talking about the genders on Facebook? I stand corrected, Detroit 313. You feel me? My mother. That's why I keep my brothers around me to keep me sharp. I appreciate that. Damn, 80 different identities. Do y'all understand on a psychological, electronic frequency level what this is doing to us as a society? And that's a question I'm asking y'all. Right? That's why I said Uncle Diddy had 80 genders. My nigga Uncle Diddy said, what? You know? Yeah, that too right there, Detroit 313. All these mantras they come up with. Black girl matter, that's one of them. You hear me? All these mantras, all these euphemisms they come up with, these sayings, memes. This stuff is breaking up our psyche, man, and making us programmable. Right? Look into NAMBLA, y'all. That is a freaky, creepy organization. And look how they have adopted the flag, the rainbow flag. Y'all listen, I'm about to cam up for this, man. For real. Because notice how they take everything that the Most High created and they invert it. They turn it into something that is the total opposite of what its original creation it was. Right? And they invert it and turn it into some freaky, creepy, demon time fun boy-ish, right? It's crazy, man. It's absolutely insane, man. Absolutely insane, man. Yeah, all them little sayings, man. You feel me? Yeah. And that's how they get to the kids. Now think about how they get to the children. Our children are being overly sexualized. So by the time they're 10, now think about this on the electronic level, y'all, on the frequency level. I'm talking about on the energetic level, because that's where all this stuff starts. They got 78 genders and pronouns. Right? 78 genders and pronouns. Now think about the children. The children are being sexualized on all levels, man. It is Uncle Diggity. They are garnering this whole agenda. That's why I say it's agenda. It's the people who are, listen, man, the people who actually are, I guess you could say LGBTQ, man, for whatever the most part, they don't want to be put on Front Street. They're not with any of this stuff. They don't understand why kids are being sexualized, why the stuff is being pushed on the children. You got transformers who are totally against having little kids and little boys come up dressing like they are. I'm telling y'all, man, they are totally against this stuff. And you know, these, you know, their lifestyle is whatever their lifestyle is, but they're not about pushing it on children. Is a lot of people who's a part of the official, actual LGBTQ community, or people who don't want nothing to do and don't support none of this stuff that the NAMBLA goes through talking about. You got transformers coming on YouTube and TikTok telling little boys, no, y'all don't need to be going to no drag queen events. Y'all don't need to be involved in this stuff. This is not something that a young man should aspire to do. There's a lot of them out there like that. Right? Exactly. And I always like to say, Detroit 313, that it goes a little bit further than white supremacy. See, white supremacy, let me come up for this, y'all. Y'all always hear me say this on Red's platform. Shout out to my brother Red Supreme, Bomba Crop. Yeah. White supremacy is really Khazarian supremacy. I want y'all to look into who the Khazarians are, man. Those who call themselves Jews but are really of the synagogue of Satan. And I don't feel no type of way. I'm going to say that just like that every time. That's exactly what it is. You know, you go to school, your kids is a little too energetic because they don't want to be sitting still at a desk. Their natural instinct is to go play. So they telling you that your little boy is hyperactive. He has ADHD or ADD. Or yeah. Right? We got to put him on something. We got to put her on something. She seems like she's depressed and withdrawn. And think about in connection to our children being locked in the houses for a year and a half and some change, some more in some places. So it's not no mistake when you see stuff like this situation with this GERSON, right? It's no mistake that we have this going on, right? So you know what I mean, man. It's crazy, man. You know, I feel compelled to do this stream. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Detroit 313. They the same. That's who they is. Detroit 313. The Khazarians. That's who they is. They the ones who even created the term. Right? Now, as far as when we talking about this little girl having to travel across state lines to get a deletion process done, right? Now, my man Detroit 313 said actually Zionists, right? Well, think about when I tell y'all, considering Roe v. Wade, that our Supreme Court is half Christian Zionists and half Jewish, or those who call themselves Jews but really are not Khazarian Zionists. Right? Every Jew is a Hebrew, but not every Hebrew is a Jew. Or every Hebrew is a Jew, but not every Jew is a Hebrew. Every Hebrew is a Jew, but not every Jew is a Hebrew. Shout out to my homie Larry Gators. Right? And they the ones pushing for this whole abortion situation, right? To be made illegal. Now, why would people who for so long advocate for the all-out deletion of fetuses or babies before they're even born or up until they're born in some state. Right? Why would they all of a sudden be trying to make it illegal to do that? Now, don't think too hard, y'all. Don't get too philosophical with it. Don't get too, no, this is a very simple question. It's a very simple answer. And if you have very good critical thinking ability, you know the answer. Why would they, after all these years of promoting this process, this procedure, this legislation as health care, why would they? And mind you, this is like one of the very few times that they have done this in American history, is overturn the Supreme Court ruling on legislation that was made law. Check into how many times the Supreme Court has actually done this in the history of this country, right? Why, after all these years, would they basically say, nah, we thought that was cool back in the day, but now we don't think it's cool anymore. Let's get rid of it. Why would they do that? Cui bono? Who benefits? It's just sad, man. That, like I say, the little girl had to go through that, man. It's just so sad. It's sad that I feel so sad for the little girl at her age, her tender age, her innocence is just broken. I could just imagine her psyche is shot. I could imagine what she's been exposed to, especially if possible SRA is involved. And I wonder why we got these, my Lord. I can only imagine. You know, I'm gonna tell y'all that story about TJ Lacey, man. That's gonna blow y'all mind, man. You hear me? And Lacey, if you still watching, this story involves Peter Hoover. How about that? For that ass. You hear me? Lacey's still watching. She knows who I'm talking about. Exactly, Uncle Diggity. Exactly. That's why I told y'all this whole situation ain't got nothing to do with teaching our children, because there's no reason to teach our children this, because when you think about this whole LGBTQ, LMNOP, barbecue committee agenda, right? When you think about it as a whole, it ain't got nothing to do with that. Yes, Lacey, yes. Yes, I'll talk to you about it. You hear me? It's going to be a dope-ass episode, too, because it's going to blow y'all's mind. It's going to speak into a lot what I'll be talking about, and this is why I say I know in real time the stuff I research is happening in our society because I've experienced it hands-on, and I could prove it to you. So that's why I speak so confident when I speak about the stuff I talk about. But, yeah, though, Detroit 313. But see, they are now Detroit 313. That's why I be telling y'all about UN Agenda 2030. Y'all look into what the protocols of UN Agenda 2030 is, the 17, I think, of them that it is. Y'all will see that gender equality and fluidity is something that is in there. Research it for yourself. Yeah. Uncle Diggity. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. Right? With all the transformers being able to come to school and read the kids' school. And like I was saying, think about this agenda. This agenda ain't got nothing to do with allowing people to be who they are and express who they are. It's actually, when you think about it at its basis, it's sexually driven. It is sexual in its essence, in its energy, in its energetic resonance, in its frequency. Right? Right? Think about how it's being pushed on us through the imagery, especially our children. Children are now allowed to go to ComFest. Right? It has everything, like I say, to do with sexualizing. I would even dare say over-sexualizing, especially children, and getting everybody in this confused state to where they get perceptually prepared for a society where there is no gender. And in a society where there is no gender, should I say, in a society where there is no gender, there's no procreation going on, at least by normal, natural means. Now we getting into Brave New World. I told y'all all this stuff is connected. Right? And like I say, man, the kids, man, when I was doing my research into this SRA stuff, y'all, just the number of children that go missing every year in America is absolutely absurd and astounding, and way too high of a number for me to think that this is happening because people take it. No. Especially with everything we done found out about the organ trafficking and all that crazy stuff that we've been so desensitized to that we accept it. Like, come on, they are really kidnapping people and taking their organs. Why was Kanika Jackson found in a freezer in a hotel where Oprah owns the top 5 floors, right? Why was she found in the freezer with all of her vital organs missing? Why was that young boy in Atlanta rolled up in a wrestling mat with all his vital organs missing? Stuffed with newspaper. Right. What led up to GERSON doing this to this young girl? Who's her parents? Who is he? Who is his parents? How are they related and connected to each other? That's a fact, Uncle Diggity. That's a fact. I gotta say that. That's a fact, Jack. So you know what I mean, y'all? You know, I'll drop the link if anybody want to come up and speak on it. Y'all let me know, man. You know what I'm saying? I like to chop it up with y'all. Or matter of fact, nah, I ain't gonna drop the link. Don't worry about it. I'm relax on dropping the link. But I just like to get y'all's opinions, though, man, because this stuff is serious, man. And if y'all noticing in y'all cities, states, or whatever, if y'all pay attention, especially since Roe v. Wade was passed, you starting to see a kind of an influx of these type of cases. See, that's why abortion needs to be legal. That's why we need to have the right to have right to abortion, or right to deletion. That's what y'all should start calling it. Right to deletion. All right. What y'all think about that? What y'all think about abortion in the instance of sexual violation? What y'all think about that? I always like to ask people that question. You hear me? Just to see what people want to say. Right. Because people always try to justify by saying, because he can do that and the DNA and the essence and all of that stuff. You know, the kids can get the genes and the genetics and all that stuff. So look how that plays in. Look how that mentality right there, y'all. Because a lot of y'all got that mentality but won't even admit it. Y'all will justify the murder of an innocent child based solely off of how it was conceived. Think about that. So you're already carrying that energetic resonance within you, which means, right, y'all got to connect the dots on that stuff, man. How this is breaking up the psyche, man. I say the only case when it would be okay to do so, you know what I'm saying? And that's I just think that is absolutely insane. You feel me? I think you know what I'm saying? And I can't even say it's a touchy subject, man, because you know what I'm saying? No, for one, no sin is greater or lesser than the other. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to know what y'all manifesting when y'all doing that, though, man. Ain't nothing righteous about that, man. Ain't nothing righteous about doing that. There's no way that you can make it like something that the Most High would accept. You know, unless it was danger in the life of the mother. You know what I'm saying? And I think that would be the only instance in when, you know, something like that would even be acceptable, when you ain't gonna let mama die. You hear me? 10 though, having a baby. So now listen to this, y'all. Connect the dots. Think about organizations like NAMBLA, the North American Man Boy Love Association. You think it ain't a North American woman girl? You think it ain't a NOGLA? Huh? What does that say for the girls? Right? So we can prevent young girls from being raped, because some of these young girls may actually be attracted to these old men. Come on, this is the type of ideology they pushing on us, y'all. Shout out to my man Cam that boy. You hear me? Yes. So just, I'm not condemning. I'm not sitting up here, vilifying nobody. You hear me? I'm just saying what it is. I'm being fair across the board. The decision you make is whatever decision you make. I'm not passing on to it. It ain't for me to do. I'm just saying that I totally disagree with it. All right. And I'm glad I don't have to be going through this situation personally, because I honestly would not. I'm not going to say what I would do, because I don't know. I'm not in that situation. I can say what I like to think to do, but I also will say this: it's a lot of situations that I never thought I would be in that I spoke on. Like, yeah, if I was doing this, I did this, and I got in that, and I did completely what I said I wasn't going to do. Yeah, you would like to think, you know what I'm saying? But until you get in a situation, I'm gonna just always be a firm person and say, you don't know. I ain't no shoulda kid or woulda kid. But what I was saying though is just connect the dots with that though, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This goes with what my man was saying earlier about them making laws to make it where they lowering the consent age. Some states were even considering lowering the age to as young as 6. What y'all know about that? And I'm not gonna get all into it and verbally eviscerate nobody, you know what I'm saying, because they said they would do this, do that. That's not for me to do. You know what I'm saying? I just would ask you to rationally explain why. Ethically explain, morally explain, spiritually explain why that would be okay and acceptable. And by what authority is you deeming it acceptable? That's what I would ask you. Because I could definitely tell you by what authority I say is not acceptable. It's up to you if you accept that or not. No, I said it ain't for me to do. But yeah, though, y'all, man, I appreciate y'all coming out, man. This is a crazy subject right here, man. When I see stories like this, it breaks my heart, man. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie to y'all, man. Somebody do some research and see if it's an organization called NOGLA, the North American Woman Girl Love Association. I guarantee it is. I put some money on it. Something very similar. NOGLA. Ain't that some creepy ish, man? Hit that like button, y'all, man. That subscribe page. Share on your social media, your social engineering. Tell people to come tap in and chop it up with us, man. We trying to grow. You know what I'm talking about? Got to support each other, man. We got to have these conversations. We got to talk about these things, man. We got to come up with solutions for this stuff, man. And one of the main solutions is knowing the information. Because the more you know, the more you're aware of stuff, and then you can peak your scenery, and then you can start to add the proper adjustments in your life with teaching your children and your family and people around you. And then you know what I'm saying, we be aware of this stuff. It's to the point to where this is becoming so blatantly in our face that Lord, these people are basically telling us what at the level they're just putting stuff in our face that what are y'all going to do? Y'all going to keep letting us just, perceptually prepare y'all for a society that most of y'all don't even want to admit that's coming or here. I'm gonna say coming is here. My Lord. You hear me? You know what I mean? I do what I do out of love. You hear me, man? Because I realize how important this information is, man. You feel me? And I know once you start looking into stuff, you start seeing like, wow. And that's why everything is happening now, because that's not what they want us to be doing. They want us to be sitting on this YouTube arguing with each other over punk ass so-called gender war between black women and black men. You feel me? Amongst the other gender wars that's going on with the other communities and societies and letters and hashtags and, you know, I'm short and acronyms and all that crazy stuff, man. All of this stuff contributed to the further destruction and breaking up of our psyche to perpetually prepare us, perceptually prepare us for a society where there ain't no gender. And when there's a society where there's no gender, naturally what, y'all? There's no procreation. The Georgia Guidestones was just blown up a couple days ago. Why? You know, so, you know, our hearts go out to the young lady, whoever she is, you know what I'm saying? May the everlasting strength, power, and love of the Most High cover her and her family for sure. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else as well, man. We living in some crazy times, y'all, man, for real, man. And we, at a time that all this is going on, we being led further down the path to not talk about it. And if y'all read 1984, y'all wonder why I'm such an advocate for freedom of speech and all of that. Oh, you already know, Lacey, man. Listen, go listen to, you know what I'm saying? What was I just listening to? Go listen to, I always find listening to my brother Geno Jennings to be very soothing, even though he's a very harsh speaking man, if that makes sense. I got the feeling when Geno talking any demonic entities or experiences in the circumference, they shook. You hear me? That's what I suggest y'all, when y'all chilling and relaxing, just listen to Geno Jennings, man. Uncle Diggity said, nice knowing y'all in advance. Man, Uncle Diggity, man, listen here, bruh. You hear me? And that's why we got to start having these conversations and sharing this information so we can not only be perceptually prepared, informationally prepared, but then eventually be spiritually prepared, because it's a deeper aspect to all of this out here too. I don't give a damn what anybody believes or thinks. I speak on what I know to be true, not only through my research, but from my personal experience, right? Inspector Gadget said we're going to have to lay something down. You know what it means. And my man is definitely boxing cleverly with his language. You feel me? Because this is how, you know, this is what I know. Let me just speak on this real quick, y'all. This is why I tell y'all to box cleverly with y'all language. I noticed that the unintelligent artificial intelligence that specifically Google is using through YouTube, it ain't that smart. It picks up on certain things, but it don't pick on certain things. That's why I tell y'all to box cleverly. And that's something they wouldn't pick up on unless somebody start bringing attention to it and explaining it. And then that's how the artificial intelligence, the unintelligent artificial intelligence, picks up on our nuances. Right? You know? I feel the same way, Uncle Diggity, man. You hear me? Any man feel like that. Any man is going to put his life in the line for especially his children and his loved ones and his family. You ain't a man if you wouldn't. Right? So, man, y'all be easy, man. I didn't even mean for this to even stretch out this long for real, but I know it's a very sensitive subject. It's something worth having a discussion on. It's something worth going in on. But you know what I'm saying? We ain't going to do that over here. We ain't going to never go no more than 3, I guess. That'll be the absolute max. Because, you know, when you get to talking about stuff like this, you could just go. But, you know, I want y'all to do some research into NAMBLA. Do some research into HR 1955. Right? Do some research into SRA, which is satanic ritualistic abuse. Right? Look into all of that stuff, man. Hold on real quick. Yeah, man, y'all. So y'all enjoy y'all's evening, man. Go do y'all's research, y'all's due diligence on your way out. Definitely hit that like button. Definitely smash. Let me camera real quick. Definitely hit that like button. Definitely smash the subscribe. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, smash the notification bell and all of that. You know what I mean? Go do your research, man. Go do your due diligence, man. Inform yourself. Inform your children, your family, everybody else, man. Come up with a plan of how you're going to comprehensively, cohesively, in the way that they can understand and not hitting them with too much to your children. Certain situations involved with stuff like this so they can be aware. You know? They might be going to school with some children who are victims of SRA. Y'all will be surprised how rampant this is in our society. I wouldn't even be speaking on it if I didn't know it to be so. And this is the stuff that's unreported. It's a movie I want y'all to go check out too. Right? I want y'all to go check this movie out. This movie is called The Kill List. I'm gonna put it in here. All right. Go watch this movie. It's on the Fire Stick. Y'all go watch this movie right here, y'all. This is a bugged out movie. Go watch this movie if you haven't heard of it. This movie is fire, is ill, and it has to do everything with SRA and all of that. Y'all go watch this movie. This movie is gruesome. It's brutal. It's a good, dope movie. I wouldn't even suggest it, man. I'm a savant when it comes to the movies. Go check this movie out, y'all. Y'all in y'all spare time, y'all got work on your Fire Stick. Load this movie right here up. It's gonna blow your mind, man. Y'all enjoy y'all evening, man. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I gotta leave y'all with a selection. You feel me? Definitely gotta leave y'all with a selection. You know what I'm saying? How did y'all enjoy tonight's show, man? Hope y'all loved it. Hope y'all enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? Hope y'all got a lot of information that y'all can go check in on for yourself and do some further backup research. You know what I'm saying? I really do. Thank y'all for coming out once again, everybody. You know what I'm saying? The stuff is serious, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Uncle Diggity, man. You know, I'm just sitting here trying to drop some jewels and some knowledge, man. Come up with some, you know, some plans for y'all to, you know what I'm saying, use this information and incorporate it in your life, man, because whether you want to accept it or not can be argued, but that doesn't take away or negate the fact that it's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And once something is brought to your awareness, you're not going to be able to not see it when you actually see it playing out in society. You know what I'm saying? I ain't heard this in a minute. We're going to ride out to this right here, man. This is my brother, the Butcher Boys, man. Classic E&E music. Thanks, everybody, for coming out tonight. I really appreciate it. On your way out, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Y'all enjoy y'all's evening, man. You know what I mean?
When you wait all the time, you forget the score. Fake tough guys had a problem before. Yeah, you had a hard knock like somebody at the door. I'm at the door like knock knock. I'm here, nigga. Only difference I ain't joking. I'm what you fear, nigga. I see the money in lights. I'm like a deer, nigga. Rolling up whatever I want. Just so we clear, nigga. Straight gear shifters, make her own lanes. Real butcher boy shit, make her own lanes. Pipe shorty so good, then my cover drains. Then smoke the best kush, the fucker brains.
Kush clouds, we blowin' heavy, you better know it. Give me all my trophies and rings, this is my shining moment. Niggas be on that sucker shit, we not condoning. Undefeated on track, so who's the next opponent? Glitch.
Brother never told you never put in a man's family. It's a pretty stupid thing to do. You got the best crew in the world standing right in front of you. Let's do it. Ride or die, remember? That's what it takes. I just want to race. That's the deal. Take it or leave it. Let's do it. Give them a reason to stay.
We fly like get the drones out, we live like get your phones
Big
out.
ass closet, look like I'm shopping, picking clothes out.
Or destructor, get the flares and get the cones out.
Sirens, ambulance, body bags, bring them out.
Glitch is sick shit, sir. Get your quick fixes.
Making the back hall could turn into a pick six.
E&E, make movies, you get slick
It's
bits.
in our DNA, you ain't gotta call for forensics. Ballin' like we sit in the starters and clearing benches.
Running in your hood, doors down, jumping fences.
We bad boys, we punish niggas, we like the Pistons.
Straight torture. Break a leg and start twisting.
Poke 'em out with the hawk, nigga, my vibe different.
Open eye incisions. Ain't looking for assistance.
We got a nigga, we butcher boys, we dropping bangers.
Another E&E alert. Somebody in danger.
Gotta stop running sometime. You need shelter, no shelter, let it be mine. I'll never let you go.
Know what they say where we're from? Show me how you drive, I'll show you who you are.
Y'all know what time it is. With your boys. I bet you like the way we do it, huh? Smoke a little, drink a little, you into it, ma? Drop the loud, roll it up, and it's crown in my cup. Guaranteed to turn this motherfucker up. Now everybody hands up and hold them high. We gon' make it hot, yeah. 4th of July, like the pilot in the cockpit. I'm in the sky. It is what it is, nigga. Don't wonder why.
Watch the champagne pop, that's how winners rock. Oh, you back in that shit? That's beginners talk. A geek is in the hood, get smacked in the community. Pick the left or right, and it's equal opportunity. They start the eulogy, they dead from all the foolery. Keep your mouth shut, man, honest, brutally. Trip down frugally, off E&E jewelry. Every bar, explicit videos containing nudity. Shorty don't know what to do with me. That's cool with me. I usually put it all together quite beautifully. I'm a different dude, so I got a tip for you. Yeah, peacefully, you lucky I'm in a given mood. No stress, this easy. Had to leave me with a 3-piece. This #1 CD shit. About to do a 3-piece hit. So critical, it's coughing at a physical. All these rap tutorials, I'm what they pay attention to.
I bet you like the way we do it, huh? Smoke a little, drink a little, you into it, ma? Got the loud, roll it up, and it's crown in my cup. Guaranteed to turn this motherfucker up. Now everybody hands up and hold 'em high. Get 'em high. We gon' make it hot, yeah. 4th of July, like the pilot in the cockpit. I'm in the sky. It is what it is, nigga. Don't wonder why. Yo, dollar signs, I see them dollar signs. See, I wake up and I wake up and I get up on my grind. I'm a shooter, so I don't need a lot of time for mine. Police, it's looking like it's green every time. Green watch, so I stay fresh. Bitches getting shade now you know. Chopping trees, I'm buying miles packed. Can I get a whole big ones? Keep them coming sick. Real niggas feel the shit. I'm well polished in everything that I manuscript. I'm being fired since niggas was rubbing two sticks. I'm too sick. Ask more doctors, I'm tough to deal with. Track and field through a beat, that mean I run shit. Niggas bringing swords to gunfights, that's dumb shit. With your boys, I promise we can't be fucked with. The guarantee, I guarantee niggas we on the up, bitch. I bet you like the way we do it, huh? Smoke a little, drink a little, you into it, mom? Got the loud, roll it up, and this crown in my cup. Guaranteed to turn this motherfucker up. Now everybody hands up and hold them hot. We gon' make it hot, bitch. 4th of July, like the pilot in the cockpit.